Floods. One of the most important uses of symbology in the Bible is the use of water. Understanding its symbology should bring about some of those eye-opening revelations mentioned prior. To begin, we will look to John's revelation, the vision he was given in the book of the same name. Revelation 12:15, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. 16, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And Revelation 17:1, and there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore, that sitteth upon many waters. And now ahead to chapter 17, verse 15. And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. It is imperative to keep this symbology in mind when reading verses dealing with water. We must be able to discern when it is symbolic and not. Only by employing this definition of water can we make sense of certain unbelievable verses. Impossibilities to the rational mind become a very different reality when deciphered properly. One important lesson to take away from the verses above is that the serpent attempted to destroy the woman's seed. This serpent is the enemy, another use of symbology, and the woman's seed are us. However, there is one very special seed the serpent wishes to destroy: the Messiah. Another lesson is the judgment of the whore, the adulteress, who has swayed so many away from the truth. Do not be caught in bed with the wrong partner come judgment day. The Greek for water above, per strong, is hudor, pronounced hudor, from the base of G5205, water, as if rainy, literally or figuratively, water. Pay attention to the parenthetical, as if rainy. It is especially important to consider verses pertaining to rain as possibly having a symbolic meaning. We can find another application of the symbology of water here. Isaiah 8:7, Now therefore, behold, the Lord bringeth up upon them the waters of the river, strong and many, even the king of Assyria, and all his glory. And he shall come up over all his channels, and go over all his banks. 8, and he shall pass through Judah. He shall overflow and go over. He shall reach even to the neck. This leaves no doubt regarding water's symbology of representing people in general. Furthermore, 2 Samuel 22:2, And he said, The Lord is my rock, and my fortress, and my deliverer. 3, The God of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my high tower, and my refuge, my Savior. Thou savest me from violence. For I will call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. 5, When the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. This is the flood of the serpent, the wandering stars, who refused to keep their place and followed the dragon. They are spoken of by Daniel. Daniel 11:21, And in his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably, and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. 22, And with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant.
Derek is taking a break. Here is Gus to fill in for him.
Arms and flood are H2220 and H7858, respectively, and are defined as the arm as stretched out, or, of animals, the foreleg. Figuratively, force, arm, help, mighty, power, shoulder, strength, and as a deluge, literally or figuratively, flood, outrageous, overflowing. Now put as if raining, with deluge, and the symbology of water, and consider the possibilities. Another place we need to examine, in terms of the symbolic meaning of water, is Job 22, 7 through 16, shown below. Job 22, 7. No water have you given the faint to drink, and from the hungry have you withheld bread. 8. The man of the arm of power, he has the land, and he of repute is dwelling in it. 9. Widows you have sent away, empty, and the arms of orphans you have crushed. 10. Therefore, snares are round about you, and sudden alarm fills you with panic. 11. Light has become darkness so you cannot see, and a concourse of water is covering you. 12. Is not Eloah loftier than the heavens? See the topmost stars, how high they are.
13. Yet you say, what does El know? Can he judge through murkiness? 14. Thick clouds are a concealment for him, so that he cannot see, and he walks about the circle of the heavens. 15. Are you keeping the path of the eon of old that the men of lawlessness trod? 16. Who were arrested, when not yet their time, when a stream was poured over their foundation. 17. Who were saying to El, withdraw from us, and what can he who suffices effect for us?
The purpose of going to the ISA.3 source, rather than the KJV, are verses 15 to 17. This is a good example of how slightly different interpretations can convey different information. Here are the KJV verses. Job 22, 15. Hast thou marked the old way, which wicked men have trodden? 16. Which were cut down, out of time, whose foundation was overflown with a flood. 17. Which said unto God, depart from us. And, what can the Almighty do for them? The KJV is a monumental piece of work, resulting from a significant effort of numerous scholars. To accomplish their task, they had to discuss and decide the best way to present the Hebrew and Greek writings in the English language. The Strong's definition of old is olam, olam, from H 5956. Properly concealed, that is, the vanishing point. Generally, time out of mind, past or future, that is, practically, eternity. Frequentative adverbially, especially with prepositional prefix, always, ancient, time. Any more, continuance, eternal, forever, ever, lasting, more of old, lasting, long, time, of old time, perpetual at any time, beginning of the world, plus without end. Compare H 5331, H 5703. And for cut down we have kamet, kamat, a primitive root, to pluck, that is, destroy, cut down, fill with wrinkles. The word eon usually is interpreted as age, as in a specific time period. However, it means an indefinitely long period of time and represents 1 billion years in some disciplines. And we see some were destroyed at that time or the end of that time. So there are two specific times when we are told of a flood or a vast amount of water, the beginning of Genesis and Noah's flood. Could these events represent something entirely different than traditionally thought? Are they symbolic representations of events?